We're getting in there.
Yeah.
We're getting in there for sure. Okay. Hey, Birdie baby. Yo, welcome back. And I'm hitting you right in the head with a question right off the rip. Megatron versus Voltron. Who you got?
Look, I got Megatron right here because I don't have any idea who Voltron is.
Oh.
I know you play that video all the time. That looks like it's from the 70s. I at least know Megatron is a transformer, and he be eating.
Okay. Voltron's taking it down. Megatron's getting the skull candy. He's getting that sword right in the temple, boys. And my dude's not gonna make it.
There's a reason why there's not been a Voltron movie.
There probably was. There probably was. I think there was.
In the 80s, maybe.
Yes, yeah. Well,
that's pretty. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. It's IUWEtalk Sports, and we're here to break down some exciting news today. But we're going to talk about the Live Golf League, LIV, and we're going to talk about some other stuff. But first, we're going to start out with LeBron James's hospital that's coming to a block near all of us. It's super exciting, and it's good to see this dude say he's still contributing. He's still contributing to the community, doing great things. Andy, what you got on this topic with your boy Bronny? I'm going to play this clip, too. You can talk over it.
Yeah, so my understanding of it is that it's not going to be an actual hospital, but it's going to be more like a primary care spot for underprivileged folks. And he's just adding to what he's building as a community now, right? He's already built a spot where families are going to be able to stay when they're transitioning from home to home. And yeah, this is just the next step in it. So he's really creating a full encompassing community from start at kindergarten until these kids graduate. And they have, things to eat. They have a place to study. They have a place to get the care that they might not get otherwise. I do think it's like the first step in, not to get political, but like keeping the emergency rooms not as packed because they'll have a place to go. People that don't have insurance. So I think it's a fantastic thing. Yeah, once again, just a kid from Akron, man, putting on for his city. He never forgets where he's from, always keeps his roots right here in Akron, Ohio. He's never said he's from Cleveland, always Akron. He reps hard, and, you can't hate on what he's done.
Can't hate it. You can't hate it. Another thing is they're going to have the primary care building, and then they're going to have a mental health and behavioral institution right next to it as well. So it's looking to be a really big help for the area. Joski Doski, what you got on Bronny?
Yeah, just to add on to the top of what you guys said, I mean, primary care, of course, and the mental health facility. Looks like they're also gonna take care of dental, optometry, pharmaceutical, and they're also gonna have lab services. So, I believe Andy already touched on this. I mean, a lot of people just don't have insurance, can't afford it. I mean, we know how expensive it is. Even if your company provides it, what comes out of your paycheck is more than you really want to pay. But you got to. That's just how it works. So it really, really helps that, he's continuing to look out for the community, continuing to do things for these kids. And then he even extended it outside of the kids on this one. And it's going to be the families as well. So, I think it's a huge thing. And really, if you ask me, I'm just already ready to see what's next because, this isn't the end. There'll be something else bigger that expands for these kids and, probably maybe some type of financial services. That's something that schools haven't been teaching. I was talking to you about it the other day, Drew. These schools really, I mean, the curriculum is lost. Most of these kids don't care anymore because they're teaching them stuff that they don't need. Like our teachers lied to us our entire lives and told us you're going to grow up and you can't use a calculator at work. My boss would look at me cross-eyed if I didn't use my calculator at work.
Hey, when's the last time you used a parallelogram? I'm just wondering.
Exactly. Not at all. Not at all. And like there's certain professions that you're going to use some of the the algebra and stuff in, mainly if you're going to be an engineer or something crazy like that. But man, they just teach you a bunch of things that aren't really going to help you anywhere in life. So I see the LeBron James Foundation making the changes and the pushes that they need to start setting these kids up, not only for success, but for life in general, like so that they know how to live. And when they get out there, they're not just part of the bottom of the barrel that the government essentially has set us up for however many years.
Yeah, hey, no doubt about that. No doubt about that. Hefe, what you got on Brian?
Look, I knew you guys were gonna hold me at last, and I'm glad you did. And this Elmo potty is really uncomfortable, first of all. But look, you know what? I think Ron's doing what he's actually doing what the transcendent megastar of sport is supposed to do, right? He's supposed to represent and support the communities that he plays in, the communities that he's either or, the community he plays in or the community that he's from, and or both. And not everybody does that. And LeBron has done that from the beginning. We're talking about bike-a-thons, et cetera, backpacks, all that kind of stuff. And regardless of how you feel about LeBron, he gets big ups for doing this. And I'm going to transition a little bit to something else. So maybe we can set up a renewed debate him. But I just lost my train of thought. Sorry, guys. But
I feel like
this is it about LeBron. LeBron came up and was put on the cover of Sports Illustrated, and he was supposed to be the man. And they put him up there, and they said, "Then this guy could be the greatest of all time." And I agreed, and I did not doubt that LeBron James. I told it to all my family that live in Chicago that LeBron James could go down as the greatest player ever. But he came into the league with legacy in mind. Legacy, man. And he was told, you got to keep your roots in Akron, you got to keep your roots here, and he's always stayed there. And my transition here was to MJ. MJ came in the league, and for all the bullshit story you want to call it, it's almost like George Washington cutting down the cherry tree. Mike Jordan got cut from the varsity team, and then blah, blah, blah. So take that story for what you want. But the difference between those two guys is Mike wasn't supposed to be the best ever. And he had that drive to prove that he was going to be the best ever. And all he wanted to do was win. He wasn't about legacy. LeBron came in this league thinking about his legacy. And Mike won. They've both put their money. It just took Mike to the end of his career, but he's put tons of money into good programs as well. But, man, these guys transcend the league. And to go to our original debate, they're the best of their generation. And they're doing what they're supposed to do. And good job, LeBron, man.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Hey, our boys holding it down without question. Real quick, let's go to what's in the news. Yes, sir. What are we talking about right now? LIV. Oh, Andy, you're gonna have to tell me. Wait, who was the Roman numeral? Oh, that was Kai. Dang,
Kai, man, all day long.
He's the Roman numeral emperor of the land. I'm not good with him at all. But the
ask him anyone.
Right, exactly. I heard it. I heard it's legendary. The LIV Golf League has taken place, and these guys are kind of taking over. This is getting a little bit ridiculous. It's getting a little bit crazy. The first event was held in London. Some of the major names that have joined the LIV League are Dustin Johnson, Sergio Garcia, Ian Poulter, my favorite name, Louis Oosthuizen, Taylor Gooch, Martin Kamer, Lee Westwood. Holy cow, man. So many people have bounced and gone over there. Andy, please give me your thoughts. And did you watch this thing when it was going down?
Yeah, I watched all 3 days, and the product I thought was trash.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought it was awful. I thought that, and I'm talking about from the broadcast. I'm not talking about from the golfer's perspective. I'm talking about from a viewer. The leaderboard was utterly ridiculous. They had everybody up there with 3 initials, so you had no idea who was winning the tournament. You had no idea. So it was their first tournament. I get that. They're going to iron some kinks out, but it was utterly horrible if you ask me. the other thing, truthfully, there's all those guys you mentioned. There's one guy there that's decent. That's Dustin Johnson. The rest of them are all okay. All the best golfers in the world are still on the PGA Tour. That being said, these guys are all going after a money grab. There's no doubt about it. Charles Schwartzel in particular. It's the first time he's won in 7 years, and he won more money this year than he has in this tournament than he has in the last 7 years. Think about that.
Wow.
It's really nuts. Yeah. So
wow.
There's things that I like about it. There's things that I don't like. I'm not going to get too political on here. Obviously, you do your own research and you come to your own opinions when it comes to who's backing the league. We're not going to get into that. I just want to talk about the sport itself and what it means potentially as far as free agency in general. All the sports have really adopted it, and now it's come to golf. I just think it's funny that these guys, don't really want the PGA. They're resigning their PGA card, their membership, but then want to play in the majors. I think that it's going to come down to one or the other. I think you're either going to go play and live, or you're going to get to play in the majors.
Yep.
So we'll see. But there's one quote here, and this is from CBS, and this to me sums up LIV Golf, which LIV, by the way, LIV, like you said, Roman numeral 54. They play 54-hole events, only 3 days. It's a shotgun start. So these guys are playing quick. They are playing way faster than they ever have, hour and a half faster rounds than they're used to, which they all love.
Wow.
But this is from CBS Sports.
So do we.
At first, the league was a diet version of the PGA Tour champions and exclusively for washed-up old-timers whose best golf was behind them.
Wow.
Then, with the inclusion of Dustin Johnson, it was for players who lacked competitive drive. Now, with DeChambeau and Reed set to play at Pumpkin Ridge in Portland, Oregon next week, it has now become an island for misfit toys.
It's the bad boys, man.
They need some really good golfers to join this, because watching the same 30 guys week in and week out is going to get boring.
Maybe you're right. But they were willing to put a whole lot of money into this thing. The PIF is the organization that's funding this thing, and they have a total of $150 million guaranteed paid money throughout their tournaments that they're about to hold. So they ain't playing no games. But like you said, Andy, there's already some kinks, and they don't have a TV deal either.
Not yet.
What the hell? Not yet.
It's because of who they're in bed with, man. So, there's kinks.
Yeah, there certainly are. Hefe, what you got on the LIV Golf League?
Look, I didn't watch it like Andy did, but I told you guys I listened to it on 92.3 The Fan, actually, because they were watching it on YouTube. And they were talking about, it seemed pretty cool and this and that. And they were doing a broadcast, so they weren't listening to like you said, Andy. I'm sure whoever was over there was just some YouTube guy that was like, okay, I'm going to cover golf. So I'm sure it wasn't, you know what I mean? I'm sure he's not a never watched golf before type guy, but I'm sure it wasn't put together well. But just like you addressed, Drew, they haven't had any kind of TV deal yet. And that's coming up. And look, I know we all said not political, but Joe, you got into the schools and what we don't teach each other anymore. And we got into the back into this, and
that's been a problem.
Yeah, of course. But that's a political problem. The money, where's all that lottery money go? It's supposed to fix the schools, but it doesn't go there. Anyway.
Yeah.
It's look, I like the money's being backed by questionable sources, and that's questionable sources to the CIA, to the FBI, to the United States of America, and all that stuff. And it could be funded by the people that have some hand in why we're paying $5 and going to be $6 a gallon of gas here shortly. But anyway, as far as the idea, the PGA should have come up with something like this before. Look, I love the shotgun start. 54 holes. It's 3 days, no cut, and you're a part of a team. So I can watch an entire broadcast of a golf tournament that's pretty highly staked as far as payouts go, with pretty good names. they don't have the best names yet, like you said, Andy, but there's pretty good names. It's interesting to watch. But you're always in the tournament, and you're playing with a partner that has the extra couple $1 million payout that goes through. So rather than watching it on Golf Channel at 9 a.m. and then turning over to CBS at 3 p.m. and watching the golf tournament end at 7 o'clock, you know what I mean? Which I'm cool with. I do that all the time. But this eliminates that. This is like watching a football game now. You got 3.5, 4 hours worth of golf, and everyone is in the tournament pretty much from start to finish. So the idea, I think, is really good. And I think the PGA is a little over the top on there because they're not always, their hands aren't super clean either. But the suspensions are cool. But I think they need to take this and roll with some kind of adjustment to how they do things. I don't think this thing's going to last.
It may not, but one of the major problems that I have with the PGA is I wasn't aware of how they paid their players. You know, Liv is coming in and doing it how, you know, kind of how baseball and all the other majors do it, with guaranteed money. You know, there's no guaranteed money. There's no contracts with the PGA. There's no appearance fee.
No, you got to win. You have to win to make money.
Yeah, you've got to win. You've got to earn every single dollar, which is, listen, that's fine. That's a great concept right there. But I understand wanting guaranteed dough every time. I totally get that. And I mean, look, the closest PGA event was the Players Championship, which had a $20 million purse. All right, so this had a $20 million purse, and the very first LIV tournament has 25 mil. You know, and if you come
what's the first place payout though?
First place pays out in
this dude got $5 million. There's no PGA tournament that pays out $5 million to the first place player.
Definitely not to Charles Schwartzel. I promise you that.
To nobody.
No, but definitely not to Charles Schwartzel.
No.
He is never getting $5 million from the PGA Tour. He's never getting that. Hey, real quick, I just want to say one thing. My fault, Joe. Not to cut you off. Not one of these golfers in Live would have made the cut at the RBC Open, RBC Canadian Open this week. Not one.
Not even Oosthuizen?
Not one.
Oh, come on.
Not one.
You don't like Phil? Is Phil terrible now? Did Phil play in it, right? Didn't Phil play?
He shot like +2.
Oh,
really?
Boy.
Phil should be on the senior tour now. He's great.
Well, if we're talking total purse for the winner from the Live tournament is going to get $4 million. The U.S. Open winner got 2.5.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, there's a really there's a big.
Yeah, but you know what else you get for the U.S. Open?
I get it.
You get a major.
But you also get like lifetime entries into other majors, and the Live Tour can't do anything like that. Ben Curtis, when Ben Curtis won the British Open, that changed his life, and now he's played in how many amazing tournaments because you automatically qualify. The Live doesn't give you that.
This is the first one. I think of course, it's not giving you anything. There's no reason not to like this. This is my take on it. Look,
5 minutes.
First and foremost, I'm literally going to say first and foremost, as far as where the money's from, crooked, everything like that. Yeah, we're not going to dig deeply political into this, but tell me there's not crooked money in every single league there is. And I tell you,
not like this one.
Shit.
All the way. We don't question where the money comes from usually.
The thing is, it's not about what way it's crooked and what it's not, Andy. It's not, because literally there's crooked money everywhere. It runs the world. Our government, it has crooked money out there that's running the world. So look, morals are morals. If we're talking about crooked money, then go clean it up before you want to go and start pointing the finger somewhere else. That's my opinion of it. So, hey, let them go play a game. My other take on it is, isn't the PGA about creating opportunities for these golfers to go golf? Yeah. And then one thing they want to do is stop them from golfing. That's crazy. It doesn't make sense.
They want them to golf here.
Like, let them golf everywhere. They should be able to golf every. Hey, you know what they didn't do before? That what I think this year was like the 4th or 5th year they did it. The match. You know, they let these guys go and golf in that with these football players and everything else. But you know what? They probably make money.
They're making money in that though.
I'm sure they're making something on it. they're making something on it, or else they wouldn't want to allow any of their players to do it. Now this year was only all football players, so yeah, they didn't really do anything with it. But they don't care when they have their hand in it because they're getting a pension of money out of it, and that's really my problem with it, man. It's like I don't see anything wrong with letting these guys go and just golf somewhere. Andy, you golf different places all the damn time, man. Why can't these guys
never golf in Saudi Arabia? Never.
Oh, well,
Never.
You say never now until they build the perfect course out there, and it's just like somehow beautiful. And Andy's like, "Yo, I can't make the show today because I got these tickets to go golf in Saudi Arabia."
And I own all these apartment buildings in like 75 cities, so I'm going golfing in Saudi Arabia. I can see that.
So maybe you wouldn't right now, but that smile on your face tells me you would if the situation was right. So like I said, I don't get it. I mean, this really reminds me of the whole, and I can't remember the name of it, but the whole thing with soccer, when the soccer players wanted to go play in another league, and it was the same thing. I think it was like the World Cup or something, or not the World Cup, but FIFA was like, nope, you can't do it. If you do it, then you're suspended. All of this comes down to money. If their pockets aren't getting fatter, your pockets aren't allowed to get fatter. And we complain all the time about how, and we can jump to football for this, but how the owners, should pay the players more money, this, that, and the other, and that's why there shouldn't be loyalty, this, that, and the other. Well, why is this any different? Loyalty can change if you're not getting the money that you want. So I don't know the name of the golfer that you said won, Andy. He probably shouldn't win $5 million, but you know what? It gave him the opportunity, and he went and won $5 million, whatever. It is what it is, man. Let these guys go out and live their lives, man. I would love to have the opportunity to go somewhere and swing a club and win $5 million.
I'm with
it. I just wish they would have answered the tough questions, and they refused to answer any of these questions. They did. They were asked point blank. Okay, so where wouldn't you play for money? Would you play for a tournament hosted by Putin?
Oh, no.
Would you?
That's a no.
None of them wanted to answer that question. Mm-hmm. But since it's not, Putin, since it's not in the main media, I got no respect for it, man.
I said, as golf, Joe and Drew,
people to go get their money. They should have
Joe and Drew.
Athletes should have an opportunity to make their money wherever they can make it. I don't think the PGA should stop them, but at the same time, it's kind of hard to totally back something like this because, hold on real quick, Jeff. I just want to show the people real fast how shook this man look right here.
Reported as describing the Saudis as scary. What did you mean by that? And if they're that scary, why are you here, given that they're bankrolling this tournament?
Well, certainly I've said and done a lot of things that I regret, and I'm sorry for that and for the hurt that it's caused a lot of people.
My dude, Philly Phil, hasn't slept in days. He hasn't slept in days, clearly. I'm just saying, Hefe, what were you going to say? I just wanted to show that clip real quick.
Man, I don't know. You threw me off with that clip.
Oh, I know. It's wild, though, right? It's wild. My man hasn't slept. He's not doing too well right now, but I think Philly
okay.
The
thought was, and it was for you guys, Joe and Drew. So you think that it's okay for, say, Dearness Johnson to sign his $3.5 million contract with the Browns to be their third running back, and then he should be able to go play in the USFL in the summer?
But he's on a contract. The golfer's on a contract with the
people. True indeed. But you get my notion. If you're involved in if you're
I follow you. It shouldn't be freelance to the point of they're backing something that is potentially
you have a contract from the NBA, right?
What's that?
You have a contract from the NBA, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So you should be able to go play in Europe on the months that you're not playing in the NBA.
Hey, this is the last thing I swear.
Well, they're still under contract, so
players do that. They'll play winter ball in their home country.
Gotcha.
The last thing I'm gonna say about this is this: you're talking about no contracts in PGA Tour now. Well, now they have signed contracts in the LIV, and you want them to still be able to come back and play in the PGA Tour. It's just not. It's not going to happen. They did sign contracts with the LIV, so it's done. It's done. what's that? You take a crap in your own bed, you got to lay in it.
Well,
is the line drawn, Andy? Is the line drawn?
So this is my question though. It's like
No.
what are the details of their contracts? Because all these other contracts that we're talking about typically actually have a clause in them where they can't go play anywhere else. Now, does the live contract say they can't play in the PGA? I highly doubt it.
Do you think anybody's going to see a contract written by Saudi Arabia? No, they're never going to see that.
I'm just saying. I highly doubt that their contracts are telling them they can't play in another league. Which, if it were the NBA and they were allowed to do it, then yeah, I would say that they would be fine. But outside of that, if it's in their contract, I mean, it's in their contract that they can't ride motorcycles and stuff like that.
You know what? Yeah, you know what's crazy about that, Joe? Though, that none of the guys that are playing over there have spoken about the contract they signed to play there. Dustin Johnson got $120 million. That's more than he's ever made.
$180 million. They offered Tiger a billy.
More money than he's ever made on the PGA Tour, and no one has spoke about the contract. Nobody.
I just think when we're sitting here, we're talking about things. There's like, oh, what's going on over in Saudi Arabia, this, that, and the other. Like, hey, I get it. I understand where you guys are coming from, but once again, start stretching out your morals a little bit more then, because last time I checked, we all rep and wear and buy Nike, but we hear about the sweatshops all of the time, the forced labor and everything like that. So come on, man. Like, I mean, where's the line drawn? We're talking about lines.
Very different. Very different.
I mean, look, I don't understand like how it's.
I wasn't calling against
if there's negative things.
I'm not trying to get political, so we got to get off this
issue. I wasn't calling against Saudi money.
No, it makes sense because it's like, okay,
all money funds these
JP Morgan Chase, or what Nike, like you were saying, or
that Express, all that.
All of these,
they're all crooked
corporations. Yes, of course. But when the CIA straight up busts you, and they convict you of this and nothing comes of it, everybody has to know what the hell is going on, at least some idea. And it's just,
even worse when the CIA aids and abets you.
What's that?
CIA aids and abets you and helps you get through the situation that you've been called out upon. And that's the worst.
Right. Yeah. Speaking of the worst, Deshaun Watson is coming up on one of the worst times of his life right now. My man is struggling. I almost pulled a clip of one of the massageists. Wow, what do you call them again? Masseuses. Okay,
I think a masseuse might be a guy, so it might be a masseuse or something. There's something crazy.
Pastor Masseusier. So there's some issues going on with Mr. Watson over here. Joski Doski, what is the last number you heard? Because the last one I heard is kind of ridiculous, and it's a miracle that he's going to get through it, and he's going to end up playing in the professional football. But what do you got on this man?
Well, it depends on what numbers we're talking about here, because I think I've heard that he in like a 15-month period he had 66 different masseuses or whatever they're called. But at the same time, there's 24. 24 is the final number of not the final number, but the number as of right now of victims, I guess, whatever you want to call them. I don't know, man. Look, hey, this has been going on long enough where anybody who's watching, you already heard me saying this out before. So if you don't agree with my opinion with it, then tough. Some of these stories just don't really add up to me.
They don't.
I mean, read the one of number 24. What I was told you did. I'm gonna kind of try to make this a little bit more PG, but
than the talk we had at the production meeting.
Definitely a lot more PG than that.
We need that same conversation live. We need that same one live. I'm telling you, we're gonna get all the viewers. But I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, essentially, he supposedly stood up and for one, he had the masseuse. I'm just going to call him masseuse until we figure out what that is. Yeah, masseuse massaging the inner portions of his thigh and got into his groin area and asked to get closer to his taint and things like this. And then next thing you know, you got a strong one, is what we're going to call it. And it flung the towel off, and the towel was little in the first place. I guess he brings his own towels. And after he flung the towel off, she was kind of shocked and frozen like a deer in the headlights because he started pumping his super soaker, and then he decided to stand up and ask her where she wanted to be squirted with the super soaker at, and somehow from down below he shot it up in the air and it landed in her areas of face and upper body.
Paraphrasing what the woman said. You're paraphrasing what this woman said.
It just, there's a profession for him if he was able to do that, because us being guys and any other guys watching this, if they are, knows that that's not an easy feat. It's just not gravity. It's just like a real thing. Gravity. So I don't know, man. I'm not saying that, and you know, I've claimed this entire time. I'm not saying that nothing happened. I just think that maybe a lot of this was consensual. To me, if one or two girls scrub their Instagram accounts, it would make sense. When there's 24 and none of them have any evidence whatsoever. And they, by the way, scrubbed this after they met. Was it Hart? Is it Rusty Harden? Is that who but that's his lawyer. So Busby, I think is their lawyer. So after they met him is when they scrubbed these Instagram accounts. These Instagram accounts will probably have some type of, you know, evidence of some sort. You know, like what would you just keep those and then you'd be able to prove that something happened, but instead you don't have them? Why would you get rid of them? I mean, common sense. It probably shows that it was consensual. It was just, you know, we agreed that maybe we didn't agree that this was going to be the extreme that it happened, but we did agree that there was going to be some happy times here. And
exactly.
at that point, you throw all that out the window, man. It's
you can basically boil this down to a couple of things. Deshaun Watson's got some demons. You know, okay, fine, right? I mean, no one's come out and said rape. No one's come out and said anything like that. So, I mean, we're talking.
He likes the parlor. He loves the parlor.
He's got personal preferences. Fine. Okay, and then these women, when I listened to 3 different women talk, I didn't pull a video because I'm going to save it for an interview that we're doing as soon as the league makes a decision. So everybody out there watching, when the league cracks down on Deshaun Watson, we're going to have a really special show coming up that week or the week after. So I left it out, but honestly, the 3 women that I listened to, one was fine with it the whole time with what was happening. She was just saying to him that his name is getting around and out there. Another chick straight up said she just wanted to get in on this money. The third one had more of a story, and there's many more, and I'm going to watch them all. The third one said more broke down the story, but there were very clear gaps of activity, very clear gaps. And it was like, wait a minute, hold on. You can't not drink a bottle of water if it's not in your hand. That's all I'm gonna. I mean, come on. Anyway, Birdie baby, what you got on Deshaun Watson right now in this ridiculously escalating situation for him?
You know, obviously this situation is polarizing as it gets, right? I mean, it's good, it's bad on both sides. You're either on one or the other. I don't know. Many people are riding the fence on this, but we're all just here to give our opinions, right? We're not out here stating facts. We're not saying anything. This is just our opinion. So my opinion is I feel like Busby, if this 66 women, that sounds like a lot, but over a 17-month period, that's like one masseuse a week. I know that sounds crazy. No, I know that sounds crazy, but think about it. Think about how much he's traveling, how much he's around in different cities. So one a week. I mean, he likes to get massages. Obviously, he's got a vice, and like you said,
all going to come down on this so hard.
Nobody's out here calling rape. You know, it is what it is. So if you ask me, Tony Busby is trying to get every person out of this 66 that is willing to put in a claim against this dude to try to get some money. But that's, again, just out here stating opinions. It's just what I think. What is fact is that this is a fact. Deshaun Watson is still denying this. He is still saying he's completely innocent, 100%. And his lawyer, Rusty Hardin, is on record just this last week saying when all the evidence comes out, this whole case will be seen in a different light. That's the only fact I have to go on, is what he's saying. He has claimed innocence from day one.
Yep.
And he said that he
refused to settle.
Exactly. He doesn't want to settle. So we're going to see what happens. Now here's the messed up thing. The NFL's crazy. They might not even suspend this dude. They might put him on the commissioner non-exempt list and just not allow him to play.
Yeah.
So in one aspect, I just want this dude to settle so we can take the little suspension he's going to get and get him back on the field, because I care more about the Browns than I do Deshaun Watson. I know that sounds horrible to say, but I'd rather have my football team be good. I mean, obviously, I hope he's all right too. You know what I'm saying? But I'm trying to see the Browns win, baby.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's polarizing, man. It's really polarizing.
No doubt about it. Hefe, what you got?
Yeah, just as far as what you just said, it's crazy that you think it's funny to put D. Watt in front of the Browns. And you know what? Do you know what we should have been talking about over the past 16 minutes? Are the Browns and the upcoming football season. And once again, the Browns have made it an issue other than football. And we've talked about it. We can go back on the shows. Look, they always seem to do something to make it not about football. Because seriously, they're in OTAs. They're doing mini camps. They're traveling together. They're playing. They're practicing. They're doing all these things. And we're not talking about that.
Right.
What we're talking about is that Deshaun Watson, and by the way, now the Houston Texans, who used to provide him with his rooms and his masseurs, whatever we want to talk about, they were all involved in this as well. And we're doing what the Browns do, and this is not about football right now. We should be talking about Chubb, and you know what I mean?
I thought that is what we was talking about. I'm sorry, go ahead.
You know, the new guys coming in and all that, but did we talk about it? We did an entire show tonight, and did we address the Browns other than Deshaun Watson's sexual assault cases, which I'm not gonna go as far as how you guys approach this, but you know what? You can't lure somebody into the industry that they're involved in. So, look, I think everyone, and I can't say everyone, but everyone that it sounds like knew what everyone was getting into. And not to sound weird, but I guarantee the ones that didn't speak up are the ones that knew that, D. Watt's coming, so he's going to give me $1,000 today. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. So, aside as how offensive everything that we've said about this is tonight, look, I think there was a lot of mutual stuff going on, but you know what? I'm so disappointed in the Browns, and I didn't think they should have got into this, and we would be talking about football if they wouldn't be talking about D. Watt.
Right, it's very true. I mean,
Baker Mayfield.
Who cares? Who cares who it was? Maybe it'd be it could be Sam Darnold.
I'd rather talk about my asshole with a finger in it than Baker Mayfield.
Period. It was trash.
Let's be clear.
Wow.
Yeah,
nobody
trash.
wants to talk about
terrible.
it.
Wow, we just been rated X? Really?
Yeah,
terrible.
We were rated R, boy.
Hey,
we rated R, boy.
I tell you.
We rated R with this mug. Hey, I'm my bad. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Hey, I told you guys before, man. Honestly, I'm gonna make a series about Baker Mayfield. It's gonna be nothing but trashing him. And the first episode is gonna be 10 things I'd rather do than watch Baker Mayfield play football, and that is one of them. I don't care. Never had it before, but I know that I would prefer to watch that or have that happen to me than watch him play another snap as quarterback in the NFL, especially for the Browns. Nobody cares about Baker. Look, I don't think the Browns were wrong for going for this, man. Like every other team was going for it that needed a quarterback.
No, they weren't.
And it's like, go look at this.
Everyone.
They weren't.
Bucks were
Yeah,
involved.
Jeff,
The Saints were
Like
involved. The Panthers were involved. The Falcons were involved. The Seahawks were involved. There were like 7 or 8 teams who were all involved. In
They looked into it.
The information is there.
They didn't all give offers. Did they all give offers?
Yeah, they did. And
every one of those
made the
teams.
biggest one.
Oh, yeah.
The Browns weren't even the team that were chosen. They just stepped in and they say, you know what? And I will tell you, they did do this. They did probably do this because they did burn the bridge for Baker because he got all butthurt because they went after Deshaun Watson after they told him we're going after anyone that's better than you. Let's paraphrase. That's what they said. We're going after anyone that's better than you this offseason. And apparently he must have thought that he was better than Deshaun Watson or something. I don't know what it was. But he got butthurt, so they realized that they didn't have anything going. So they went and guaranteed money, and Deshaun Watson took it. But he was going. When it came down to, I can tell you at least that 2 teams, the Saints and the Falcons, both had drastic offers because he was actually considering between those 2. But I can also guarantee you that the Carolina Panthers had an offer in place for him. And I don't know much about Tampa Bay's offer. I never heard anything about it until I looked it up. But I also do know that the Seahawks had an offer in for him. This isn't just a Browns thing. You know, the Browns were actually intelligent for making this decision because, look, in the NFL, crooked stuff happens all the time. We're going to go back to the same segment we were talking about.
And you know why the Browns got him?
You know why
the Browns got him?
Big money.
Because they're tired of being the laughing stock of the league. They're tired
of the laughing stock of the league.
No, that's because
they just paid 5 times too much for this guy that might not even play.
5 times too much? Where are you coming up with that number, Jeff?
Man, this guy, how many wins? We've talked about this before. How many wins does this guy have in the NFL?
He led the league in passing the year.
1 year. But he doesn't win.
One of his
best guy is not worth. This guy is not worth $230 million.
Jeff, how
Absolutely
much? Jeff, he literally has like the second best career QBR behind Aaron Rodgers, dude. Stop it.
What if we get 2 Super Bowls?
D-Watt is not a stud. D-Watt is not a stud.
Just go watch the Bears, bro. It's just
Oh, I will. I always watch the Bears. I don't always expect them to win, but I watch them. Look, D-Watt is going to go down as the biggest mistake in the history of the NFL, especially for the Browns.
You're wishing for that. You're wishing for that, Jeff.
Can we throw bets? The Browns will not go to a Super Bowl the entire time that D-Watt is their quarterback.
Wow.
50.
I got 50.
Going to a Super Bowl in the conference that they're in, it's actually that's a
Look,
tough
you guys say he's the answer. I'm just throwing the bet out. All you have to do is accept. $50 was the bet. You can accept, you can not accept, you can rationalize. $50 says that D-Watt will never take the Browns to the Super Bowl. In or out?
$5,000.
$5,000. Digital shake.
$60.
I think it's fair.
So you're guaranteeing the Browns will be in the Super Bowl.
I'm saying we get 2 in the next 5 years.
Oh my God.
2 in the next 5 years. Yeah, we are loaded. We're loaded.
Look, I think it's hard to say that anybody's going to a Super Bowl, which is why I think that bet in general is kind of ridiculous. But if you guys want to partake in it, you guys go ahead. But
$50. It's a simple bet. That's pretty clear cut.
If the NFL had series and they got to play one more game, I'd take that bet in a heartbeat. Let's put it like that, because I think the Browns with Deshaun Watson are a better team than a lot of other NFL teams there are. But all it takes is one bad play, one injury, something like that, and they'll make it to the Super Bowl and you win that bet. So, no, I wouldn't take that. But with that being said, they are, with him on the field, one of the top teams in the NFL, and that's not even questionable.
Top 3.
Not questionable. I'm sorry, man, but it's not. If they were what were they? They were probably about a 4 minutes and maybe a couple plays away from making it to a conference championship game with Baker Mayfield, who didn't even do anything, which means that they just did it with their running backs, their defense. Yeah. Give me Deshaun Watson, and I think that they could actually go ahead and make that jump.
Our defense is a lot better than it was when we got to that game. We're pretty dope.
The Browns are the Browns, fellas. The Browns are the Browns.
The Bears are the Bears, bro.
Always.
Wrong button. Here we go. Hey, there it is. All right, it's time for the signature segment. We're going to combine them a bit. Let's go ahead and give your final take, your quick take, and your final thoughts all in one. Doski.
A final take, a quick take, and a what take?
Quick take and
everything you gotta say.
Quick takes, finals, and thoughts.
That was a lot. That was a lot. It's too much for me to comprehend, man. We just got done having this conversation about how somehow the Browns aren't going to do good, but whatever. Look, man, I'm just ready to see a good game tonight, man. Celtics. I keep saying this. I hope it happens sometime soon. I'm waiting for that Jason Tatum game. If it's not tonight, I mean, I think the game at this point is going to have to happen on a Golden State court. So maybe if it doesn't happen tonight, then it's going to happen in Game 7. I think Boston all together as a team will probably go ahead and take care of business and win Game 6. But I told you guys from the jump that I thought this was going 6 or 7. So at this point, I mean, unless Boston somehow wins tonight and then wins again when they go back to Boston, it's going to finish in Game 7 in Golden State. So just hopefully Tatum can go ahead and get going tonight. Other than that, I don't really care about anything else. I'm in basketball mode until this series is over, and then my quick takes will probably mean a little bit more than just go Celtics. So.
All right. Hey, go Celtics. I'm more anti-Warriors than pro-Celtics, but I'm very much anti-Warriors. So here we go, Jason Tatum. Let's get it. Hefe, what you want to leave for the people? And you watch any ponies run lately?
I've watched 77 races in the last 37 hours. But, yes, I have. Anyway, as far as Andy goes, yes, go Bears. At least we have a Super Bowl. And honestly, I do think it was a mistake. I do think it was a mistake with D-Watt. We'll see how it plays out. You know what I mean? And that's fair because no one knows how it's going to play out. But, look, I like the way the golf tournament was set up, and I think the PGA might follow up somehow in some way to do something to that effect to keep these guys. We'll see. That's interesting. But, yes, I hit the Belmont perfectly. I handicapped it perfectly. I hit the 6 and the 3. And like I've told you guys, I'm working on getting to be a better. Because if I was a better, I would have raked in big cash, and I could have got you guys in on big cash too. But I did hit the 6-3. 1-2. I knew it was going to happen. Brooks is going to the tracks. I told you, I'm still going to the Derby, the 25th, the Ohio Derby. I'm going to do a little handicapping on my own and see what we can do. But, hey, I'm going to keep you guys up on the horse racing thing as much as I can. Other than that, I'm going to be at Wrigley Field a week from yesterday.
All right. Hey, that's going to be dope. That'll be Felix's second.
First, third.
Third at Wrigley? Third at Wrigley? Oh.
No, first at Wrigley.
Oh.
We've been to Cincy. We've been to Cleveland. And this is going to be Wrigley. So she's going to be at her third game, and then we're going to come home and have her 5th birthday.
That's super dope. That's
my Cubs girl, baby.
It's one of the coolest things ever. Let's see. What do I got for y'all? Watch the Indians. We're really, really good. We got a couple articles coming out soon about what the Tribe's doing and what some of their young talent's been up to, because these guys, they're looking pretty good, and it's getting exciting. We're still right around 500, but like I've been saying all year, that's the game plan. Play 500 until you get hot, and then ride the wave, baby. All right. It's about that time. Birdie, baby, let me play your music, play your cut. What you got for these people, man? Lay it down on them. Educate the people. They need it, Andy. They need it, Birdie, baby. What you got?
Hey, we were just talking about the PGA. We're talking about this live thing. So it's only right we're talking about what's going down this weekend in Brookline, Massachusetts at the Country Club. That's the U.S. Open, baby. And if you come in here, Jeff was talking about betting. I got my betting favorite for you, and I don't think you can miss it. I'm going to give you a sleeper as well. Cameron Smith is my guy this year in the U.S. Open. Best putter on tour. Hits the ball straight. I love to see him this week. And I got a sleeper for you, too. Max Homa. Don't sleep on Max Homa. Get him in DraftKings for about $6,800. Fill out that lineup. Nice for you. Get Max Homa in the lineup, and let's go Cam Smith. And I think the U.S. Open is set up to put on a show and put the live kind of in the back row.
Hey now, all right. I love it. Ain't nothing better than that. Hey, deuces, we out on that note. We the hell up out of here.